Hey there, guys. Paolo from Adventures to Order here. Quick post-stream pre-video edition. I didn't play this RPG completely right the first time. You're supposed to play. You're supposed to use two keepers from each kind of section that you're given, and I only do one in each section. So I guess we can say we speed ran it. But you can see me getting confused a little bit in the video in why the RPG isn't longer, which obviously I find out at the end, but I thought I best put it at the start. So it doesn't look too much like a complaint because this is really an amazing solo RPG that I highly recommend you go there and buy. But without further ado, I'll let you watch the video. Oh yes, 4 viewers, a new high. Wonderful. Hi, well, I'm Paolo. This is technically Adventures to Order, but I think I might have vaguely given up on that notion by now. I'm going to be playing a really fun solo RPG called Artefact. It's really fun, illustrated by Crom. I think it's called Crom, and it's sent out by Mousehole Press. I saw it kind of featured in an Instagram image for Shut Up and Sit Down. I was like, I must know what it is, and then I bought it, and it's really good. But I haven't actually played it yet. Throughout all of the current times where we don't go outside, I just haven't gotten around to doing it for some reason. I think we're just trying to save it and make it special. But we're doing it today. I thought it'd be. I don't know. I've not seen any Let's Plays of this so far, so I'm gonna have a go. I know single player RPG stuff isn't necessarily conducive to live streaming, but we'll give it a go, and I'll try and hold stuff up to the camera if you can't see it. I've got the chat up as well. I probably, because it's a very meditative game, I won't be taking suggestions or anything like that. But I already have a vague idea for the item that I'm going to do. You get, you print out a load of, where did I put all the sheets I printed out? Here they are. You can print out all the PDFs, the items that come with it. You have the weapon, the shield, the instrument, the ornament, the footwear, snazzy one, the staff, the automaton and the tome, but I have gone for the deck. Just because it jumped out at me, and I had an idea for the deck last night. After playing a bit of Dishonored, I've been diving back into the hello Bard College. I've been diving back into also hello Freya. Everyone else watching, yeah. No, I had an idea for this. Well, kind of, I've been jumping back into Dishonored, and that kind of like theme has hit me. I think the deck's intended to be like a tarot style oracle, but it also says or something stranger, and I came up with the idea for something stranger. The idea is that you play this game with a little journal to jot down in and stuff. I've got some notepaper to one side, but because this is recorded, and because me writing stuff down would just be dead air, I'm just kind of going to describe the stuff and maybe write it down at a later date when I play this video back. Of course, if I accidentally lose this video, then it'll just be a memory we shared together. But yeah, so I've gone for the deck. It's really loosely set up, which I kind of dig. I was reading the book earlier and I was like, I'm not really sure how this works, and then I realized, oh, it just works. It's a really concisely made little single player RPG, which is nice. So you can start, you pick your item, and then you just start with the sheets that come, well, the sheets that you print out, the keepers, and then you pick like you determine an amount of time to rest between each keeper. So no time, just be not resting. A day is you physically as a person rest for 5 seconds, which I think is quite nice from like a meditative game. Weeks, 10 seconds, a month is 20 seconds, a year is 40 seconds, and a decade is a minute. You kind of meant to be contemplative in those moments. In silence, maybe your eyes closed. There is music. I'm going to play one of the musics for you now to kind of go along with your meditation. They're all appropriately timed. This is a day. This is a nice feature that came with the digital edition of it. It kind of came packaged with the physical one that I got. If that is too loud, do let me know in the chat, and I will turn the volume down. This is not I don't know if any of you saw my tweet before. yes, there's the music files come with a digital edition of it, which is really nice. I don't know if it's something about my computer, but I can't seem to get them to play in like a playlist, so I have to just click them all from the root file separately, which is fine because they're only like 10-second tracks. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. If that is too loud, let me know and we'll adjust volumes. But as you might have seen from my tweet, this is not a professional Streamlabs kind of thing. This is just me doing it on my phone because that was the best option. But yes, we're gonna dive in, I think, and I might get it wrong, and that's cool too. But let's see how we go. Right, so I picked the deck. Oh, sorry. Okay, so straight off the bat on the main sheet, we've got a section. I'm going to narrate this as I do it, obviously, otherwise that would be silly. Item creation. Complete the section before choosing your first keeper. You were created by one with invincible will, great magical skill, and a desire to laugh in the face of destiny. Describe them. So I've got this kind of, I think the vague idea. I've got then add 3 traits describing your item and draw it. Okay, so I think this was made by maybe like a how best to put it. So I've had this idea for a deck of doors. So rather than like a deck of many things or a deck of fortune telling or something like that, I like the idea of a deck of cards that are either yet to be determined or previously made doors that you can, like, maybe you put the card on the wall and you can walk through it. Whether that's to a real place or something you make up yourself, I think we could maybe keep ambiguous to make it like a cool, like, ooh, what is it? What is the purpose of this thing? Is it eldritch in nature, etc.? But yeah, so I think the person then who created it, I think was maybe somebody slumming it, maybe like a really cool wizard person who goes into really mundane places and makes things that are magical. So maybe there's just like a printing press or something like that, or a place that makes decks of cardstock, or something artistic. We'll pour ourselves some tea as we do this. A bit of chamomile. ASMR for you there, which is something that's nice to listen to, but I can't say. So yeah. So I think maybe there is a disguised wizard. Might do this in pen actually, so I don't know if it'll come up on camera at all, but we'll see. Who goes to places of mundane creation and makes one mundane looking magical item to mess with fate, we'll say. I think they are enigmatic by nature. Maybe no one knows they exist. This is not the right pen for this. That's okay. That's okay. I might get a buyer out in a bit. Cool. So we've got our first kind of thing there. Then add 3 traits describing your item and draw it. So I think one of the traits here. I'll write these down as I go. It is really plain. The first trait of this. None of these pens are the right pen. I've scuppered myself already. This is what I get for trying new things. Right, so I think one is it's very plain, it's very mundane. And I think maybe at this point it doesn't have a box. Maybe it's just like loose blank cards, like maybe with backs to them, like playing cards. But they've just been like printed and cut to be printed on, and then maybe like maybe the factory gets abandoned at some point. It doesn't end up going through the machine, so it's just this magical thing of cardstock that was going to be something random. Because we all love stationery, right? I think everyone in this chat room really digs stationery and supplies. So yeah, we'll have that. Yeah, maybe this factory then like gets abandoned and someone finds it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So it's plain or mundane. Traits. Ooh, this is. Is there a section in this book for traits? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I just get to make these up, I think. Very conscious of that. So it's plain, it's mundane, there's no case. I'll put that as a whole separate one because I'm maybe struggling a bit. No case. Loose cards. What else? 3. I'll put these traits in the drawing section because loose cards, and they have a. I think they are. I think they all have a door frame as like a So every it's like lining of the card is like 3 sides of it, so it's always a frame. Door frame motif. So I'm going to draw this really simply, really quickly, because I am, unlike some of my friends, I'm not an artist. But I'm going to just draw a rectangle, because I think they should be maybe tarot sized, as would be appropriate for a door. So a rectangle, and this, if I do it small, I could have got more space for later. Rectangle, kind of, maybe just a string around it, tying it together. Maybe some of them are dog-ended already, but there's, just get them lines in. You can't see that. There's no way you can see that, but I'll put it up here anyway. Another thing about this game is you're supposed to play it in the dark, which it's getting now. But I don't have any curtains in this room, so I can't really make it dark, and it wouldn't be any good for you watching like that. But yeah, you're meant to play it in the dark, which I think is nice and meditative as well. But yes, we've done that. We've drawn it. So I think then we move straight back to the other sheet. Like it's a little confusing, but I'm okay. So yeah, so describe the keeper and your acquisition. That's another thing about this game is in the yes, I bet you did. That was a danger I thought. As soon as I got it, I was like, what sword am I going to make? But then I've tried to be a bit more, tried to curb my sword urges. We'll say that my my want for weaponry by going for something a bit more out of left field. So I've gone for the deck, you see. But yeah, so this is I'm going back to the describing the keeper now. When I had the initial idea for this last night, I had the idea of its first owner being maybe a child, or maybe like a poor child, like running in and out of abandoned buildings. Maybe they find this old printing factory and this deck of like just this bundle of card like tied together. half printed. I think, yeah, I can draw on that. Grabs it and kind of goes. I think maybe they... so I'm going to actually write this on this sheet for this first keeper. Child. Mousy brown hair. Paw. In and out of abandoned buildings. Finds the cards. In abandoned press. That's what I should call the press for when I start producing RPGs eventually, to call it abandoned press. You heard it here first, folks. Patent pending. So yeah, so I'll do it for a keeper. Answer the keeper's questions. So that's, I think these are the ones here. So either they're a folk hero, a young noble, a rogue without master, or a revolutionary leader. I've gone a bit off tangent in the sense that, like, these are guides, and the book even says that you can go on tangent with them as well. But I've kind of gone for like a child kind of hero kind of thing. So I'll maybe, I don't think young noble describes them. Rogue without master might be it. Revolutionary leader, I think maybe a folk hero. And the two questions there are, well, it says they are wholesome, helpful, and a little naive, which I think little vagrant child aptly describes. So we're going to go folk hero. I can tick that on the sheet. Describe the isolated village they work to protect. So maybe it's a fishing village, because I'm still on that Dishonored kick. So fishing village. I really like this pen. I must write down what pen it is so I can find it again. Fishing village. It's not intended for writing at all, I don't think. Which is great. Fishing village. I think economic downturn. Maybe that's too real. But lots of places closing. I'm running out of room here, but oh no, I've got plenty of room. I've no doubt saying lots of places closing. So we've got this kind of like very, very damp kind of place where these kids are in about, and this one just finds this. So kind of, how did you help them protect their home in a time of crisis? I like that. So I had this image of this kid, like if this is like a magic deck of doors. I had this image in my mind last night of them, like maybe the first one is just like to a little playground. So that's the first door they use, and then maybe, well, let me just look ahead in case I'm explaining something I shouldn't be. Okay. Yeah, so I think maybe, you put one of these on the wall, you think about where it'll take you, and it just becomes a door, like the door image like imprints on the card, that is then forever a door to there. And then, every door looks different. I'm kind of vibing off Bluebeard's Bride a little bit there, but I like the idea that every door on this will look different in some way, and that's then that then leads into the deck's aesthetic of everything's different, and whoever owned it has different doors when they've done it, and like this door might be slightly childlike, it might have flowers on it. It might be like the door from Monsters Inc. in some ways. Oh no, I ripped off Monsters Inc. I've just realised. Never mind. We're doing it live. It's fine. Get some chamomile in me, be all right. So yes, so as I said, so if it helps them protect their home in a time of crisis, then maybe someone's trying to evict this little boy or this little girl, this little child, we'll say, and their family, and they use it to. I'm not sure if they should use it to escape to somewhere nice, because then the parents would know about it, or. Well, then rather than their home, then maybe they're kind of like clan of kids. Maybe okay. So here we go. This is what I like then for this instead. So rather than actual home. Yeah, because it means when it says home, it means their town. So I think they use it to kind of like give other kids a place to escape to. A place to eat. So at least the first two cards I have, because I'm thinking I might make this an actual maybe a D&D item at some point, is a playground. And I'll put somewhere to eat. I'll put a dining hall. So the game doesn't necessarily intend that. I mean, there are some mentions in the deck of like it losing a card. It doesn't intend that that I would necessarily start listing cards now, because I'm thinking towards making this in another system, which the book does mention. I'm noting down cards for each here that has it as I go along. Thanks for support in telling me that I'm not ripping off Monster Inc. It's chamomile. Right, so that's done. So I've answered our questions. Choose from tables. Okay, choose one from table 29 or 30. So I'll bring those up real quick. The 29 and 30 are, they're not 30 tables, that's the page numbers. Let me just bring this up real quick. It says choose one, but that's a whole page of stuff. Answer, then choose a memorable event or deed, defining your item's time with the keeper. If they achieved great things together, choose from victories and valor. If the item was slighted or misused, choose neglect and mischief. Well, I'll look at both real quick. Because I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I don't want it to be dead air. Yeah. Victories and valor is valiant acts, vanquished evil, and inspiring maneuvers. So you choose an option from below, answer the questions, and change something as you grow notorious, proud, or legendary. So you can pick it. You can physical appearance of the item, a response to an artifact question. So you Okay, it's a little clunkily worded, but that's not a complaint at all. It might just be my lizard brain not. Defining your items, time of the keeper. Which is the valor. I see. So in Victories and Valor, we've got examples like a stronghold of great importance was attacked by a dreadful monstrous horde. How did it help your keeper drive off the fearsome assailants? I don't think that really fits. Defeated their sworn bitter rival. A great warrior was trapped in an impossibly tall tower by an evil sorcerer. Interesting. A long-staying feud between two prominent factions was resolved. Don't know if any of those necessarily fit, so I'm going to read the neglect and mischief just in case there's something cheeky in there. You were locked in a vault while poorly made counterfeits were sold to hoodwinked adventurers. Oh yes, you were locked in a vault is referring to the item, because as the player, you aren't the keepers, you are the sentience of the item. If you're familiar with like D&D item sentience. I did not put my glasses on, and I am sorely regretting that now. Decorate. Put on display, decorate a wall. No, I don't think so. Intentionally deceased or refuse to tell your people you have mice. I think maybe. That's interesting. That is very interesting. I like maybe the idea that there is. So do you know what I'm going to actually do? I'm going to combine 1 and 2. I'm going to combine Victories and Valor and the cheeky one. I like the idea that maybe these cards don't necessarily stop working if you tear them up. As long as it's still got a handle on it. So I think, yeah. So there's like 2 warring factions. Not warring, but there's 2 factions of like vagrant kids who are going hungry, and they find out, maybe the other group find out about the deck, find out about this magic door that they've got to keep eating, and they want it, and they try and take it off them, and the kid just rips one of the cards in half and gives them half of it. So there's 1 half card in the deck, and I'll say it's the dining hall. And that's then, so both of those factions of kids have got like half a door and can open it and get into this. They're only small because the kids, they crawl through this door to get into this dining hall so they can eat, and they all kind of like share, and it like brings them together. I think that's really, really nice. I'm quite happy with that. But then that also means if this is a real magic item in another game, for example, if there are cards that there are half of in the deck, who has the other half of the card if it still works? And I like that. I cannot write all that down, so that's just going to be a video memory. Half card. I'm just going to write who has the other half. I could have maybe started to think about this more before live streaming it, but I didn't want to do all the work before I got here. I wanted this to be an authentic kind of experience. So yeah, so I've done that. So choose 1. So I've done that. Answer questions and change something. So yeah, so I've actually done that as well. So like I'll draw that in. I've got a dining hall. I'm not a good drawer, but artiste, as it were. But I like the aspect of just like scribbling it as you go, and you could spend more time, but getting it on the page is nice as well. So yes, I'm not going to write that down necessarily. So we've already changed the physical trait about it by ripping a card, so we don't need to do anything else. Detail about physical appearance, a response to an artifact question. So yeah, answer an artifact question. So we've got a few here, and I think I'll probably just do them in order. And do you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to answer the second one, because the first one is, over time you gain a name or honorific. What is it and why? I don't feel like kids would do that necessarily. So how do you come to think of your keepers? As gifted heroes, doom seekers, or something else? So I think for keeper 1, I'm going to write 1 in the corner just so I've got it like as them. I think that it thinks of the. So just to answer Bard College's question, I'm thinking that most of the cards are blank, and then once you decide on a location for one it's locked in. So like for the needs of these kids, they wanted a playground and a dining hall, and they got doors to those places. But then subsequently, whoever has a deck after that has randomly a card for a playground and a dining hall. Another thing I kind of like thought for this card, which I'll mention now because I don't know if it will come up in the future of it. These items are sentient, but what if each card was sentient necessarily? So it's kind of like a hive mind, kind of like maybe like the Borg in some ways, but less evil. Anyway, cool. So yeah, so I think it thinks of these keepers as friends. I think it thinks of its keepers as friends. And you know, if it's being used in some sense, it's part of the group, friends and equals. I'll put brackets children. So maybe this deck itself, so these first two cards happen and it's got its first two thoughts. It considers itself a child. It considers itself here for fun. It wants to open the door to the playground. It wants to make sure everybody's fed. And maybe there's like a bunk room. Maybe I think I'll do a third card for this, and that'll be a bunk room. Small beds I'll put. And that has the added effect of like if one of these cards goes to a place where people can sleep and all the beds are tiny and have teddy bears in them, that's a little creepy. Which I think could be quite cool as well. I really like the idea of, and I'll talk about D&D for a second. I like the idea of magic items with history. There are a few magic items. There's like an elf sword that you roll and has an associated rune with each of its previous owners. So like one of them gave it +1 and one of them gave it something else. I like the idea of an item that doesn't only carry a verbal history, but a physical history with it. So like, who had this before me is like a really like interesting. If this is how it works and they make the doors, who had this before me? But yeah, I'm prattling on. I need to get playing. Consider how the keeper loses you. Oh no, that's really sad. I think maybe indeed a Goldilocks one shot. I think maybe there's a cat outside. It's causing trouble. Sorry. I think how does the kid lose it? I think maybe they drop it without noticing one day. Yeah, I think they're doing more like spelunking. They're looking through abandoned factories for things, maybe to sell. And maybe it hasn't occurred to their minds that one of these doors could lead to someone with treasure. Maybe it just hasn't sprung to them because they're that innocent. The kitty. Maybe they're just that innocent. Maybe they just don't understand money. But they're looking for things to maybe either pinch or have fun. Do you know what I mean? Just go out there and explore the city. And I think they drop it and they don't even know that they dropped it. And it is a really sad moment for them. But I think it is also a moment that kind of redoubles like how much these kids look after each other, because they still have that half of the dining hall, and maybe they never stop looking for the deck, but they've always got each other's backs and everyone can always go to the dining hall. And maybe that changes hands, maybe depending on who that, if you were bringing something into another game, maybe that would eventually change hands once the kids have grown up. Or maybe, this dining hall would occasionally have kids in it, but that's one for your table. Randomly loses it. I'm writing all this on the sheets. I like exploring. Sad. But sad. Sad, but brings kids together over half Dining hall card. Cool. Lose it. Move to time to wait for a new keeper. I think I'm going to say nobody finds it for a week. No, we'll say. Do you know what we'll say? A day, because then maybe someone just picks it up the next day, and that's why they never find it if they keep looking for it. So I'm going to play the audio soundtrack for a day. Once again, let me know if it's too loud or you'd like me to turn it up when I play it. But I'm going to close my eyes for a second and just kind of meditate on that. Okay, doesn't want to play that file for some reason. That's not good. Let's have a look. Let's go back. There we go. Oh my goodness, on stream, don't do this to me. Do you know what? We'll play a different one then, if that works. We'll play a week and pretend that we play today. That was really nice. Cool. So yes, that's done. Oh no, what's happened? I've closed the window by mistake. Or haven't I? I have. Never mind. We'll get back to it in a second. Right, so we did that. We waited. We had a little meditate, which I thought was really, really nice, and I wish more games would include even not single-player RPGs. I've lost my chat, so I'll sound off when you come back. So that's move at time and wait for a new keeper. So I'll just swap this sheet out now. I will say, I do think that maybe these handouts can maybe just a little better. I won't say organised, but maybe formatted. Just because like creations in, note drawing, the traits. And I've only just noticed the traits, but I don't know. I know it can't go perfectly together, but anyway. Keepers 2, a time of glory. Choose a keeper from below and resolve them following the process. Blah, 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 blah. So same as before. This is our second keeper. So somebody picks it up. Don't know how long this will take. Oh, there's only 3. There's only 3 keepers, so it's fine. Yes. Okay. So we've either got a righteous champion. They are haughty, passionate, steadfast, an all-conquering warlord. They are feared and adored in equal measures, rather. Bandit king, they are sardonic, ruthless, and respected. Describe that outlaw kingdom's seat of power. How did you help them ascend to their crooked throne? Well, a monster hunter. They are sharp, fearless, and impossibly strong. Describe the highly competitive guild they belong to. So I've got this kind of, like I said, this Dishonored style kind of world in mind for this. Which is my own fault, really. And I think maybe I think we're going to go with a Bandit King, because I think that fits a little better than a righteous champion or an all-conquering warlord. So we'll go for a Bandit King. I think they are. I'm going to describe this person. I think they are I think they're just like a common thief to start with. So I'll write that down. and they become a bandit king using the doors. Crime lord, as it were. So I think maybe so we've already got like some uses for this immediately. So okay. So okay, we've got this person who's a bit of maybe a Fagin kind of person. We've got describe their seat of power. I think similarly, I think let's bake some irony in here and say similarly they live in abandoned buildings, much like much like the kids do. But they're less innocent about it there. Ooh, okay, an abandoned church. I'm going to put. With crypts. I'll just write w/crypts. I think maybe. Yeah, it's great. I do really enjoy. Just to respond to the chat, I do really enjoy how just thinking like it's weird because you think, oh, I can't make a whole world, and then you sit and you think, and it just flows. As soon as you start thinking about something, it begets something else. So yeah, so they've managed church crypts, and I've got a card straight off the bat. So a room of safes, a room of lock boxes. So the card 4. Room of that's somewhat evocative of the room in Skyrim and the Thieves Guild, where they've got all those chests that are locked just for practice. But this may be like a place to keep this person's ill-gotten gains. So I think maybe there are open ones with keys in them that you can use, and there are locked ones with no keys on them because this person took the keys with them. I think it may be a bandit queen. I'm going to cross out king and make queen, because that's what I'm feeling for this. And then you can have your own little trial for your players. If you want to find out what's in them, you can rationalize that yourself as a GM. Cool. How did you, me, the deck, help them ascend their crooked throne? So this is where I have a bit of a dilemma in my head for this. Should all the places the deck goes be made up? Should they only be rooms, or should it be able to take you to real places? Interesting. I'll think about that. I'm Cheltenham Centre, good throne. So I gave them a place to hide stuff. And an escape when needed. So I think maybe another room could be a bar. You like real places? Okay. I think they're definitely physically real, but maybe you can't get to them. I think we should make them real place. I think maybe a bit of both is a good kind of like split in the middle there. Like the food hall, like isn't a place in the world. It's just a place in the deck. And the playground, I think that's weirdly creepier if it isn't a place in the world as well. Like maybe it's just surrounded by hedges. Thank you. Maybe it's just surrounded by places, by hedges as well. So let's maybe a bit of both it in that sense. Like you can make. I think. All right. Okay. Then here's a wild idea. Then what if it's dependent on your level of imagination? So if you're a child and your imagination is infinite, you can make places that aren't real. But if you're an adult and you're unattached to that, you can only go to real places with it. You can only make real place cards. I like that actually. So imaginative people. To can make places. That don't exist in the world. Adults can't. Adults and cynics. Oh yeah, I think maybe you beat me to the punch there, Frey, because my chat's on a little bit of lag. I'm not looking at the live feeds at the moment. I'm just watching it back. But yeah, yeah, because the imagination is good. I like how we were sympathetic on that. So yeah, I think maybe if this is a real D&D item and you wanted to make your own place, there might be a check involved. But in another system, you could rationalize it another way. We're on a roll, group, team, gang. I think one of the places then. Well, so the room of locked boxes. We'll give that to this person then. We'll say they've got a bit of a spark of imagination. Maybe the average person only gets one. Maybe that's a stipulation of the item. Maybe then. Thank you. I think this is really cool as well. That's a stipulation of the item that, like, as an adult player, you can make one room for you and add it to the deck. The rest of them have to be real places. I think maybe going forward we'll do that as well. So 5 will be a pub. I think it's going to be a bar. So I know this isn't how the game is necessarily meant to be played. I'm just enjoying making cards for this item here. I've come at this game with a D&D mind, admittedly, and it is evocative of high fantasy. And I just always want to be playing D&D anyway because that's just one of my biggest hobbies. But this definitely has a lot of, and I'm playing it now, I can see that this definitely has a lot of potential just for a relaxing tool. I'm coming at it with narrative in mind and with excusing these things as mechanics in another game. But even if I wasn't, I am enjoying like just doing my own thing to the side, which is the beauty of a one-player RPG that you don't necessarily have with something you're playing with people. Unless you're playing with great people who are really encouraging in that sense. But anyway, we best get on. I'm gonna put a pub. I'm gonna put a rough. I'll put a rough pub. I'll put a docks pub. Cool. Right. Yes. Okay. So every time they're going to get caught, they could just slap this card on the wall and go into the pub and pick the card back up, and it's done. I like it. Cool. So we've done the keeper's questions. So I think we have to choose from the naughty table after this, the neglect and mischief. You were locked in the vault while poorly made counterfeits were sold to hoodwinked adventurers. Was the fault in the design made these copies fail at a crucial moment? You were thrown carelessly atop a huge heap of treasure. There was another sentient item within the hoard. What did you learn from this other intelligence, and did you get along? You were put on display to decorate a wall. Rest there for a long time. That doesn't work. Powerful magic has it's totally corrupted your keeper. causing malaise, sickness, and eventually death. Was this ruination intentional? You intentionally deceived or refused to help your keeper, leading to their demise. What took place and why did you act that way? You're broken, split, or torn into pieces by your keeper, intentionally or otherwise. How this happened and how you made whole again. See, I'm not sure what to go for there. I think I've understood this layout a little bit more now. It says choose an option from below, answer questions, and change something as you become hardened, and then it gives you a list of things that you could change, and one of those is a response to one of your questions. That's interesting. I get this a bit better now. It's just me not making the common sense of it, really. But yes, so what do we do? What do we do here? I think maybe this was counterfeited a little bit. Maybe people. Okay, right, I've got it. Job's a good one. So we didn't make. Yeah, I like the idea of a cheap knockoff, but maybe like, you know, this person gave cards to highly trusted, like she gave cards to highly trusted thief lieutenants. Like, right, here's the card for the bar. Oh, I think also maybe a rule should be you can only have one card to one place. But yeah, here's the card to the bar. You know, you go in, you use that to get out, kind of thing. Then you give it back, and then maybe to set people up, this crime lord would make knockoffs of these cards and go, here's the cards to the bar. Go and do the job. If you get in trouble, this card will get you out. But it was really to get people caught. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Need to write this down somewhere. Made counterfeit single cards to get competitors caught. I dig that. I dig that. I dig that. I need to change something now. Only 3 sections for keepers. Although I suppose you could go around ad infinitum. Yes, so they made counterfeit single cards to get competitors and up and comers caught. Wasn't a fault in the design; it was an intention. So we've bent like that prompt a little bit there, but I like what we did there. If I do say so myself, a detail about the physical appearance of your item. I think maybe this is where the item gets a case. So let's draw a case real quick. I'll put item gets a case. I think it should be gaudy in some way. Maybe with like red velvet. Maybe it's in a pouch of red velvet that then goes into like this really intricately carved. Or maybe that can come later. Maybe another one can come later. Right. Let's draw a pouch for it, like a little velvet pouch. Just gonna not do this well, so tassels. I'm gonna write the word velvet pouch for the deck there. I think maybe there's like a gold ring on the tassel or something like that. Maybe it has a weird smell no one can place or get rid of. That would be interesting. Or a different smell depending on who the deck. I don't. That's interesting. How about then? All right then. How about the cards smell like the rooms? If that's not weird, like the food hall smells of food. The playground maybe smells of like sand or wood chip or something. Oh, the box. Oh, the box. That's really interesting. I do like the idea of odor though. Yeah. All right. Maybe the box. Yeah. Maybe the. Okay then. Hmm. Ooh, you've set my brain alight. I think maybe it just has a pouch for now though. I like the idea of the box maybe having a smell to it. But we'll come back to that. I like the idea of maybe like the card smell, like the rooms that you would maybe walk into if there's an odor to them. Like if there were to say be a boudoir one later down the line, that might smell of like rose petals or something. I don't know. We're not going to include a boudoir room because why? But yes, let's move on. I'm not being as inventive with the visual side of this, but that's on me. Real world, name, faction, etc. We've kind of done that verbally. So let's answer an artifact question. So we've got over time you gain a name or honorific. What is it and why? At least one of your cards was taken from you and you were changed. What card is it and what new form is it taken? These are kind of things that we've done a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that because obviously people do need these prompts, but we've got excited and we've kind of gone forward with it a little bit. I like that these are there for players who may or may not struggle or just need a different prompt. Once used to cruelly change the fate of someone your keeper was madly in love with. Describe the person they betrayed. Did you love them too? Yeah, I dig that for this. You once used to strike a bargain with unstoppable foe. Now the story is popular legend. What haunting truth can never be known? We could go real dark with that, but I don't think I will. You are immortal. Fate will never touch you. What do you wish you could tell your keepers about the true nature of destiny? I think we're going to go for the love them too. One. You once used to cruelly change the fate of someone your keeper was madly in love with. Describe the person they betrayed. Did you love them too? Cool. So I think maybe this thief, this bandit queen, she had a partner who was also a thief. Together, they both they robbed a lot together, or maybe like second in command. And she used one of these cards to like banish her or something. I think maybe. Okay, so hear me out, right? I'm going a bit too far. I'm tying this question in to consider how the keeper loses you. I think maybe the gang betrays them because of these counterfeits and stuff like that, and comes to the deck, and these two women, these kind of crime lords, are together, and to protect the woman she loves, she lays a door down for her while they try and get away. She knows she can't send her to the pub, and she knows because that's where they are, and she doesn't necessarily have time to make a door because maybe it takes time when you first do it. I don't know, or maybe it's just an accident. The card that she puts down for her lover is the room of locked boxes, and just to get them out of there real quick. And before she can pick it, she can come back to get them out. She gets killed, and the deck moves on. Maybe some of the cards have a red stain on them from this, like from this person's blood, and then maybe I'll leave it up to you guys because I don't want to necessarily tell his tale too much. But like, either one day someone opens that door to that room of lock boxes, and this woman comes out, or maybe there's just a skeleton in the room of lock boxes, depending on how long it is. But I just broke my own dang heart. Broke my own dang heart there. I made me real sad. But yeah. So yeah. Can't put right keeper too. And I think the deck did love them too. I think they had a lot of fun together. And maybe there's a few locations that were their idea. Maybe they used the deck as well. I don't think I can necessarily make cards for them now. So all right then. Okay, actually. Let's do 6. A beach. So a real world place, like maybe like a changing room and a beach. That maybe they didn't tell anyone about. Loving the emotes. And that's where they used to go together. There's a few cards maybe, and I won't do them all now. But I think they contributed to the psyche of this deck, this sentient deck. And this could have been a time when this thing went really like corrupt in its mentality, because it was innocent from kids and it saw all this crime and this murder. But the one thing that kind of got it through this mentally was that these crime and murder cards and greed cards were balanced out by cards of love. So that if it would talk about a hive mind or a mind made up of memories, then these kind of even out a little bit, and I dig that. I can't even bring myself to write that down. It really made me sad. Might have to have a drink after this. That's cool. I think maybe, I would say let's have it be a longer rest, rather than it being immediately used again. Let's say they sell it on to someone else who like found out about it and bid it to them, and it moves hands because of it. And we'll keep that a bit, in a mythos. But we'll say, maybe it goes in a collector's room for a decade. So we rest for a full minute now, if I can get the track to play. So we're going to say 10 years. Take that off. I'm going to close my eyes. You guys do what you need to do. I did love that little chime at the end, to let you know that your time has elapsed. But yeah, so we've done that. That's our second keeper. And I think there's only 3 pages for keepers. This one's called the Ruination, and I like that there's 3. It's succinct. Yeah, the audio is great. I don't know if it's cool that I've included them in the stream, but I've not played all of them. I hope it's cool that I've included them in the stream. But I think you can download them as part of this on itch. I'm not sure though. I'll have to look that up in a bit. But yeah, this is the 3rd and final keeper. I feel a strong need to do more with this, and I haven't necessarily read the book cover to cover, so I don't know if it mentions maybe doing that. But it is meant to have a beginning and end. But I will go back likely and maybe do all of the different kinds of keeper, and add to the number of cards that way in my deck kind of character. I will say I'm not embodying the mentality of a sentient magic item. I'm more focused on narrative right now, and I think that's largely because of the kind of item I've gone for and the way I'm mechanically thinking about it. But I could totally see myself as like a shield or a sword, be like, I am foe breaker, like, and really get it into like a character. But this is slightly more abstract, which I'm enjoying, and I'm glad I went for. But let's have a look. I just want to read something real quick. Ending the game. Each at the end of the third and final act and resolve the keeper. Okay. I think I am personally, just because of my necessity for more cards, I'm going to use the other different people as prompts. Maybe give this more of a legend to it. But I will do that in my own time off stream. And that'll be just for me and my players. But yes, so in what room? Need to write this down on map for it, just in case I lose the stream. To save them. But the keeper died. The cards. What have they used? Gave the deck a sense of love. Cool. Okay, so now that I've written that down, let's get back to it. Keeper 3, the Ruination. Choose Keeper from below. Resolve the following process on page 1, blah, 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 blah. Describe Keeper and your acquisition. A pair of treasure seekers. They're opportunistic, argumentative, and short-sighted. An archivist collector. They're observant, austere, and maniacally organised. A doomsday cult. They are scores of acolytes with burning eyes and fierce purpose. A foolhardy warrior. They are optimistic, energetic, and hopelessly outmatched. I apologise, guys. I am bursting for the toilet, so I'll have to run real quick. And hopefully not have to edit this much later. But I'm just going to nip to you really, really quickly over 2 seconds. Right, I am back. Apologies. Right, so we'll get back into it. Let's just see how this is looking. Cool. So, like I said, we've got pair of treasure seekers, an archivist collector, a doomsday cult, a foolhardy warrior. So I think the easy one here would be the archivist. Someone paid these fees to get this for them. And do you know what? I was going to veer away from that to have something a bit more adventurous for this last one, but seeing as I'm coming back anyway, I think I'm going to do that one next. I'm going to do Archivist Collector, because then we can have a room of books. Yeah. So, this person gets the same deal as everyone else. They get one room that it doesn't exist in the world, and the rest have to be existing. So we're going to say room of books. card 7. With academic books and scrolls. Cool. So that's their one that they get. So describe the archives they oversee and where you're stored. Which of your former keepers are they keen to study? So I think this is where the thing gets a box, and I think it is like a wooden box with a latch. Kind of deck of many things ask. Really intricately carved. Lots of like swirly lines that I can't do. But I'm just going to scribble on this. Got a latch on it. Maybe a lock, who knows. Yeah, so I can't draw that at all. There's no way I could, but I have enjoyed the act of drawing it. Yeah, so describe what they oversee and where you're stored. So I think they are maybe some kind of wizard, some kind of like wizard rival to not necessarily rival to the person who created this, but they are definitely interested in acquiring magic items. I think they are maybe not a kleptomaniac, but a hoarder of some kind. I'll put magic item hoarder. But also hoarder of information. So maybe they were born rich. They've always been rich. They have tried to acquire everything they can. I think maybe they don't have a door of the room where they keep all the stuff, because that would be wild. Because if someone were to steal it, then they'd be able to steal everything else. They'd be able to come back, rather. Archive, I'll put information broker. Info, because that's always a cool concept. Like they buy and sell information. Which of your former keepers are they keen to study? I think they're keen to study the thieves and how they got by as well. Bandit Queen. Not sure if I'm feeling this option as much as I might have the others, but I... See, the pair of treasure seekers one is interesting because you've got which one of them ends up with you at what cost, kind of like they fight each other. Doomsday Cult I don't see for this necessarily, and Foolhardy Warrior. We're going to stick with what we've got. Into the Bandit Queen and find treasures and room of lockboxes. They can't open anything in the room of lockboxes, much less display. No, because that woman's in there, isn't she? I'll put room of lockboxes question mark. It has been a decade. So maybe they find the body and puts them off going in, or I think there should be some other keepers perhaps in between these, but we'll see how we go. They're keen to see what the Bandit Queen did. Is ultimately confused by the doors of but the kids the kids made. Cool. Achievement. So what we're getting here, we're getting neglect. So neglect and mischief, I think. I think the applicable one here is you were thrown carelessly atop a huge heap of treasure. There was another sentient item within the hoard. What did you learn from this other intelligence? Did you get along? Maybe instead of going in any of the rooms, they just study the cards, not wanting to use them. Maybe it's more abstract research than it is actually using them. So this is more a stage of neglect than it is a stage of use. Maybe, yeah, good. I'm glad you like that. Maybe then, if it talks, this is how I get my sword. Maybe if there's a magic sword in there, it talks about its adventures to the deck, and those memories become rooms. And maybe some of them are exaggerated, so maybe they don't exist, and maybe some of them are real. Okay, I dig that. So yeah. So left in room with sentient sword. Oh, it's all come back around. I thought we were losing it then. Sentient sword. The sword describes its adventures to the deck. Oh, I'm really happy with how that went then, because that's given an excuse to expand the deck as well. We've also kind of given them a friend in each other, which is, yeah, that's come right back around for me. Some exaggerated. Yeah, and these memories become cards. Vibing off a little Adventure Zone stuff there. There's a shield in the Adventure Zone that you can either tell it about a fight that you've had, or lie to it about a fight that you've had. And depending on which you do, it's either a persuasion or a deception check. And if you succeed, it then adds more to your AC against that type of foe, which is a cool idea. But I like the idea that this other weapon could exaggerate events, so it maybe leads to some more rooms that aren't real places, or bombastic places that maybe the deck shouldn't necessarily go to. But those memories give the deck a sense of adventure to its identity. Cool. I really dig that, and there's several. You can get several rooms out of that, or locations that you can play with there. Like, for instance, a dragon's lair, or such thing. Oh yeah, we killed the dragon. We didn't actually kill the dragon. They were gonna, and then they ran away. So then you've got a card that goes to a dragon's hoard with a still existing dragon in it. I dig that a lot. I'm envisioning the sword as the sword on the cover. I don't know if you can see the sword on the cover. It's quite dark in here now, but kind of cool. Really love this cover. Yeah, so yeah, that's like a load of. I'm gonna put a dragon sword, dragon's cave with dragon still in. Awesome. Awesome. So that's that bit done. Bring the book back up here, my PDF. the element we've changed about its appearance is the deck box. Detail about something in your world, and name a faction, etc. I think we've done all of those things, even though we didn't have to do all of them, just by inventing this magic item counterpart, which I think I will have to make that sword at some point, like a sword of bragging. Maybe next time I play this, I'll do the sword, the weapon, and I'll make it that weapon. I'm actually not, who knows? But let's answer an artifact question, because we're nearly there. Over time you get an honorific, what is it and why? At least one of your cards was taken from you. You were changed. What card is it and what new form has it taken? I think whatever, I'm not going to answer that question specifically, but whatever card is taken from the deck is the memory that's taken from it. So that alters its personality in some way. If it's this hive mind of memories, then, you know, if you took all the adventure cards out, you'd have a deck that was adventure separately, and the deck that was left over, which might be criminality and whatever. But, you know, I like that as an idea. You want to use to strike a bargain with an unstoppable foe. Now the story is popular legend. What haunting truth can never be known? Your immortal fate will never touch you. What do you wish you could tell your keepers about the true nature of destiny? I like that one for this, because this is kind of the end of it. Just going to write the point of this item, which is every door is a memory. Take that as you will. Yeah, and then we consider how the keeper loses us. I think maybe this is just is this just a tower we get locked in? Is this, you know, are we here forever with the sword, exchanging tales of heroism? I don't think so. But maybe, you know, if it's a cave, there's a cave in. Maybe there's maybe someone buys the guy out and just misplaces it. Get put in a box somewhere later on. Yeah, maybe this archivist gets bought out by another information broker or collector, and when stuff's gone through, it gets taken out as like maybe a tarot deck or something, or just not recognised and maybe thrown in the trash. Maybe put in a box somewhere like Area 51 or something, never seen again. Have I done this wrong so far? Just look at the sheet now. Let's see, it would be very on brand. Okay. So I've done this whole thing wrong all the way. I'm supposed to choose 2 keepers from each one. So we'll say we've speedrun it, which is, you know, very evident of how I did this in the first place, which was, I wish this was longer, and it is longer. You're supposed to do 2. So I've misread it, but that's okay. But yeah, I think because we've been at it for an hour and a half, we will end it here. But I'm going to go back and do another keeper from each. That makes a lot of sense. So, you know, props to you, Mousehole Press, and specifically the author, Jack Harrison. You made this really well. I just didn't read it very well, because that's who I am. Dang it. But yeah, I think we're going to leave it there. If you've spent 10 minutes at rest across the entire game, or if your story is ready to end, this keeper is your last. And I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. Because this has been really fun, and to be honest with you, my eyes are kind of tired. I've not been wearing my glasses. If I can just unrig my device, I wonder if that will be too loud. I think I won't unrig it necessarily, but I will perhaps change the camera angle so that you may see me. Let's have a look. Hey, how you doing? Right, so we'll leave it there for tonight. I've really enjoyed playing that. I'll have to play it again, mainly because I played it wrong. So It's a really, 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 really good RPG. And even though I was doing it for an audience, you two, since I was doing it for an audience, I maybe wasn't as contemplative as I was, and maybe rushing a little bit and didn't do as many keepers. But I can see myself playing this a lot more this week. Really relaxing, nice to kind of do in the dark as well. Highly recommend it. It's well worth getting. Artefact, amazing. Thank you very much. I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves.